I secretly paid off my brother's debt, and now he thinks he's a financial genius. Hey guys, and welcome back to Thread Tension. Today's first story was originally posted to TrueOffMyChest and Family Drama subreddits on Feb 27, 2026, and is still ongoing. OP. 3 years ago, my younger brother, 28 mem, was drowning in credit card debt, like 47K deep. He'd always been terrible with money, buying stuff he couldn't afford, eating out constantly. You know the type. Our parents kept bailing him out, and it was causing huge fights at family dinners. I, 34M, had just gotten a decent bonus at work, and honestly, I was tired of watching him struggle and listening to my mom cry about it. So, I did something stupid. I anonymously paid off his entire debt. It took me about 6 months to do it in chunks so it wouldn't look suspicious. I made it look like the credit card company had some debt forgiveness program he qualified for. Here's where it gets weird. He thinks he did it. He's convinced that his budgeting system and financial discipline got him out of debt. He's been giving financial advice to our cousins, wrote a whole blog post about his journey, and literally tried to charge our sister $200 for a financial consultation. Last week, he told our parents he's writing a book about personal finance. My mom was so proud she cried, and my dad keeps telling everyone his son is a self-made success story. I want to tell him the truth because watching him act like some finance guru is driving me insane. But if I do, it'll destroy him. He'll know his entire comeback story is a lie. My wife says I should just let him have this, that maybe the confidence is actually helping him stay on track. But yesterday, he posted on social media about how anyone can do it if they just have discipline. And people who are actually struggling with debt were commenting, asking for advice. He's giving them advice that literally doesn't apply because he didn't actually do what he thinks he did. I don't know what to do. Do I let him keep living this lie? Do I tell him and risk destroying his confidence? I created this mess, and now I'm stuck watching it spiral. All right, guys, let's take a look at the comments for this original post first. Commenter 1. Based on the personality you described, you need to tell your parents ASAP with proof and receipts. Then, sit down together as a family and tell your brother. If you just tell him privately, you know he'll say you're lying and trying to destroy his life, when in reality, you saved it. You need to do this quickly so he doesn't ruin anyone else's finances. You meant so well, and I'm so sorry it backfired. Some people just don't want to be helped. Otherwise, they'd help themselves. Commenter 2. You need to tell him, this isn't confidence, it's delusion. That bubble needs to be burst before he finds himself in an even worse place. Honestly, he sounds exactly like my cousin when he was manic. Commenter 3. Replying to commenter 2. Exactly. If you don't tell him, there's absolutely no lesson learned, and he'll just do it all over again. You also need to make it crystal clear that this is the absolute last time you'll be bailing him out. Man, what an absolute mess, guys. OP was genuinely just trying to do a good thing for his brother and save his parents some stress, but it completely backfired. I have to agree with the commenters on this one. You cannot let a guy who had $47,000 in credit card debt suddenly think he's the Wolf of Wall Street just because someone secretly wiped his slate clean. It's actually dangerous, especially if he's out there charging family members for advice or giving false hope to people who are legitimately struggling online. OP needs to print out those bank statements, sit the parents down first, and then rip the Band-Aid off with the brother. It is going to be brutal, but letting him publish a fake financial advice book is way worse. Let's take a look at the first update. OP. Wow, I genuinely didn't expect this to blow up the way it did. First of all, thank you. Seriously, I made this account just to vent, and I never thought so many people would care about my stupid family drama. Laugh out loud. For those who didn't see the original post, basically, I'm the idiot who secretly paid off his brother's $47,000 debt. And now, the guy thinks he's Dave Ramsey 2.0, trying to charge family members for financial advice. Crying laughing emoji. The comments were intense. A lot of you told me I'm an idiot for doing it anonymously, that I'm enabling delusion, and that I need to tell him ASAP before he hurts more people. And honestly, reading through all of that at 2 a.m. with my chest tight, you guys are right. I've been carrying this for 3 years. 3 years of watching him talk about discipline and mindset at every family dinner, while I just sit there smiling like, Slightly smiling face emoji. Do you know how hard it is to not choke on your food when your brother says, "I just decided to be great," and your mom is nodding like she's watching a TED Talk? But the comments about him giving advice to actual struggling people, that's what got me. That's not funny anymore. Someone could actually make bad decisions because my brother told them to just believe in yourself, when the real answer was, your older brother is a sucker with a savings account. So, yeah, I'm gonna tell him. Probably this weekend. I'm terrified, not gonna lie. Again, thank you all for the reality check. This internet stranger thing is pretty cool sometimes. I'll update you all after it happens. Pray for me, lol. Folded hands emoji. OP posted an update the next day. OP. I sat down with him this weekend. I showed him everything. Bank statements, payment confirmations. He went quiet. Then he said, honestly, I always felt you looked down on me. This whole thing just proves it. You didn't help me out of love. You helped me because you wanted to feel superior. I didn't know what to say. Because honestly, he might be right. I sat there in his bedroom, looking at all his financial discipline books on the shelf, his blog printed out on the desk, and I realized maybe I never saw him as an equal. Maybe I always saw him as the screw-up kid who needed saving. My dad just sat there the whole time, didn't say a word. Later, my mom texted me, maybe he's not ready to hear it yet. Classic mom. But here's what destroyed me. After I left, he texted me, thanks for telling me. But I don't think we should talk for a while. I need to figure out who I am without everyone in this family trying to fix me. The family group chat is dead silent. Nobody knows what to say. I keep replaying that moment. His face when I showed him the documents. The way his voice cracked when he said, you think you're better than me. Maybe he's right. Maybe I've been playing hero my whole life, when really I just wanted to feel like the good guy. I thought I was doing the right thing. I really did. Now, I don't know anymore. Talk about a plot twist that just punches you right in the gut. We all thought this was going to be a simple, satisfying, I told you so moment. But the brother's reaction, man, it actually makes a lot of sense. OP spent $47,000 thinking he was saving his brother, but from the brother's perspective, he just got robbed of his own comeback story. It is a brutal pill to swallow for OP to realize that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't acting purely out of love, but because he liked being the responsible older brother who had to fix things. This went from a funny, petty family drama to a really tragic breakdown in communication. I genuinely feel bad for both of them. OP lost a lot of money and the brother lost his entire sense of identity, but I want to know where you guys stand on this one. Is the brother completely justified in cutting contact to figure himself out? Or is he just lashing out and being ungrateful because his massive ego got bruised? Let me know whose side you are on down in the comments. Alright guys, after that heavy emotional roller coaster, we need to switch gears. Let's wash that down with a completely different kind of frustration. Our second story today is titled, I saved a woman's life on an airplane and lost my new Bose headphones because of it. This one was originally posted to the r/mildly infuriating subreddit by user u/Darth_poopy. OP. I'm an MD anesthesiologist, and I was on a trans-Pacific flight when a woman on the other side of our airplane went into respiratory failure. She was suffering from severe hypoxemia at our cruising altitude in the setting of chronic lung disease. Long story short, she ended up completely losing consciousness, and she stopped breathing for a short while. So, myself and a couple of EMTs had to physically carry her to the emergency exit aisle and perform life-saving measures on her for just over 2.5 hours, since we were almost at the exact midpoint in our flight. In the end, she regained consciousness, and we safely transferred her to paramedics at the receiving airport. But we were physically breathing for her for the entire 2.5 hours she was in our care. If we hadn't been there, she would have certainly died on the flight. At the end of the flight, immediately after we handed off care to the paramedics, the flight crew started deplaning passengers. I hadn't been at my seat for the last 2.5 hours, so I had to rush back and hurriedly pack my belongings amongst the crowd of passengers. In the commotion, I inadvertently left my new Bose headphones under the seat in front of me, something I never would have done if I wasn't taking care of someone away from my seat for hours. I didn't discover they were missing until we were already on our connecting flight. After multiple phone calls and emails with United Airlines, they informed me they can't locate my exact pair of headphones without a serial number, which I cannot provide. They said they have too many pairs of lost Bose headphones and there is nothing else they can do. So, I am out a new pair of headphones. I'm tagging this as mildly infuriating because, obviously, it is my fault that I left the headphones, and I don't have the serial number to locate my specific pair. Also, I can definitely afford a new pair of headphones. However, the fact that they have multiple pairs of headphones at the airport and they can't return any of them to the owners without a serial number, and also the fact that this situation only happened because I volunteered to care for this woman. I think that classifies it as a mildly infuriating first world problem. Thanks for listening to my rant. I just want my headphones back, United. Man, talk about no good deed going unpunished. You literally keep a woman breathing manually for 2.5 hours, and a massive airline like United can't just look in their lost and found for the brand new Bose headphones left under seat 14B? That is way beyond mildly infuriating. That is peak corporate nonsense. I completely get why OP is mad. You don't step up to save a life expecting a reward, but you definitely don't expect to be penalized a few $100 for it either. Let's see if the commenters are backing OP up on this one, or if they think he's complaining a little too much about a pair of headphones. Commenter 1. Thank you for saving a life. Don't they even tag the items for which flight they were lost on? It seems like that would make it easy to return things to people. OP replied, right? Apparently not. They just said they have a collection of lost items at the airport lost and found, which is then shipped to United headquarters if it's not claimed in a certain amount of time. Commenter 2. Oh, thank goodness. I thought I was going to read a rant about another passenger stealing your headphones while you were off doing a great deed for someone else. This one is just forgetting something, but the airline company being terrible about it. OP replied, laugh out loud. I think that story would belong somewhere else besides mildly infuriating. To be clear, it is always worth it to save a life, no matter what. I would save her life again 10 out of 10 times, even if it meant losing my headphones every single time. Saving a life is never the wrong choice. But I will still be mildly infuriated. Haha. Commenter 3. I can relate. A man once had a stroke in the car ahead of me and drove his car up onto a lawn. I got in his car to pull him out and attempt CPR while the ambulance was on the way, and I lost my very expensive, brand new prescription sunglasses in the back seat. I'm pretty sure he didn't survive, so I feel guilty for even worrying about my glasses. OP replied, wow, that is eerily similar. This is why Reddit is the best. You can find people with shared experiences. Good on you for taking action. Commenter 4. Any chance you still have the box they came in? Maybe the serial number's on there? Crossed fingers emoji? Also, did United offer you anything for your service? OP replied, I wish I did. It's weird too because I usually keep the boxes for my more expensive electronics. To be fair, United did offer me a $150 flight credit that expires in a year. That is basically useless to me though because this is the first time I've flown United in over 10 years, and they aren't one of the main servicing airlines where I live. Commenter 5. Always secure your equipment before leaving the scene, rookie. Face with tears of joy emoji. Just kidding. Good job. What was it you guys were doing for those 2.5 hours? What kind of stuff did the flight crew supply you with? OP replied, manual ventilation with an ambu bag, put in an IV, gave a few meds, and suctioning out the airway. The airline had minimal supplies, really just stuff you would need in the event she was actually dying and needed advanced cardiovascular life support. I manually breathed for her using a bag valve mask connected to an oxygen tank. We went through about 3 tanks during the course of the whole episode. She regained consciousness after about 20 minutes, but I'm pretty sure she had a stroke in the process as she stopped moving her left arm and leg. I had to continue assisting her breathing for the following 2 hours because her oxygen never read above 85%. Commenter 6. Why didn't they divert the flight to land sooner if a patient is in respiratory failure? That part makes no sense to me. OP replied, we were over the Pacific Ocean. It was either turn around or keep going. Okay guys, without further ado, let's check out the update posted the next day. OP. I I never expected my post yesterday to get as many views as it did, and I just want to say a big thank you to all the kind Redditors that had stories to share and different perspectives on my mildly infuriating situation. As a result of the post, someone from Bose headquarters reached out and offered to send me a new pair of headphones. I'm really impressed that they even cared enough to do that, and they have definitely earned a customer for life. Kudos to Bose for being so cool about it after United Airlines customer service just left me hanging. Again, thanks for all the kind words. I enjoyed reading all the comments and had many good laughs. Just to clarify, I was very happy to help save this woman's life, and I would 100% choose to do it again every time, even if it meant losing the headphones. The headphones are not a huge deal, which is why it seemed appropriate for this sub. Losing them after such a long and arduous ordeal, only to have United Airlines bounce me around, was indeed mildly infuriating. I am aware that I can afford new headphones, haha. That was not the point of the post. And to all the crazy Redditors who called me a liar, chat GPT, egotistical, a narcissist, a karma farmer, and lastly, the random psychopath that private messaged me and told me to burn in hell for making up lies, I hope you are nicer to your anesthesiologist when you inevitably need their help in real life. Because they have your life in their hands and they deserve your respect and gratitude. Cheers. Oh, and P.S. I read and tried all of your suggestions to find my serial number and I was totally unsuccessful. I will definitely be registering my electronics from now on. That is exactly the kind of update we love to see. Huge shout out to Bose for actually stepping up and doing the right thing, especially when United Airlines was basically just shrugging their shoulders. And OP dropping that ultimate mic drop on the Reddit trolls at the end? Absolute perfection. If you are going to accuse a literal doctor of making up a story for internet points, you deserve to get called out. Let's look at one final clarification from OP, along with a great comment that perfectly captures the vibe of this whole situation. OP clarifies, when I got to her seat, she was breathing oxygen through a supplemental mask provided by the airline. Even with that mask on full blast, she was still in significant respiratory distress and had an oxygen saturation of less than 50%, hence the need for assisted ventilation with a mask. Commenter 1. I appreciated reading your first post. It was a perfect fit for the sub. Losing your headphones after saving someone's life, while also having the money to replace them, is truly mildly infuriating. Even better to read the update. I don't think Bose did it because of marketing. There are nice people all over the world, and some nice person at Bose saw your post and realized they could make your day a little less mildly infuriating. Fantastic work, and thanks for the update. Cheers! OP replied, thank you. I'm glad you saw the spirit of what I was posting. Laugh out loud. Too many people missed the point. Overall, it wasn't a big deal at all, and I was happy to help this lady, but definitely just what the sub describes. And to your second point, you are absolutely correct. I told the Bose employee I would write a follow-up post about their generosity, and he replied, we don't need you to post anything, just trying to do the right thing. Even more reason for me to give them their flowers. Well, that brings us to a conclusion, guys. If you enjoyed today's stories, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for future stories on Thread Tension. Peace out, guys.